Greetings and welcome to this new video, Faithful. We're going to talk about a controversial yet fascinating biblical concept today. Prepare for a trip into forbidden knowledge and frightening insights with the Book of Enoch, an ancient Bible dating back 2,000 years. This extremely contentious book, which describes ferocious giants, sensuous fallen angels, an odd cosmology, and revelations that have changed the course of history, has generated discussions for ages. Despite covering events prior to Jesus' birth, the book is not found in the modern Bible and is not regarded as divinely inspired by some scholars. Still, this terrifyingly knowledgeable book was discovered in 1773 in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, and it is part of the Ethiopian Christian sect's scriptures. This manuscript is rumored to contain horrifying information about humanity, including dire prophecies that will shiver you to the bone. What additional mysteries lie within these pages? Come along as we explore Old Bible, uncovering hidden passages that contain startling insights about the human race. The Enochic Book. The Book of Enoch is a pseudo-epigraphal book also known as the Ethiopian Book of Enoch. It is an Old Testament book that describes events that took place a very long time before Jesus was born. This old book's original manuscript vanished near the end of the 4th century. It was later found in Ethiopia in 1773. But as a guide for their practices, the Christian group in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, incorporated this book into their scriptures. This book's survival was also aided by the fixation of heretical Christian sects like the Manichaeans with elements of Iranian, Greek, Chaldean, and Egyptian culture. This book was condemned by a number of academics in the church who said it included revelations that were not inspired by God, because it revealed important details about how the world was created. The ancient Book of Enoch was excluded from the Bible. This book contains a list of mystical discoveries not yet verified by Bible scholars, along with descriptions of aggressive giants, sensual fallen angels, and odd cosmological facts. It is thought that many aspects of Babylonian mythology can be found in the account of Enoch. It has also been established that this Book of Enoch is an anthology primarily composed of apocalyptic texts. Enoch was a person who, a patriarch and biblical figure, Enoch lived before Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, sometimes known as the pre-flood period. He was the father of Jared, the great-great-great-grandson of Adam, and the grandfather of Methuselah, the longest living person in the Bible. Genesis 5:21-24 states that Enoch walked with God and that he was taken by God, ending his existence. Bible scholars eventually interpreted this verse to mean that Enoch was carried up into heaven while still alive. As recorded in Genesis 5:22-24, he was around 365 years old when God took him. In the Bible, only he and Elijah were taken by God without dying. Throughout his life, he labored with faith and righteousness and strictly adhered to God's word. God spared him the agony of death because he was so moved by his deeds of faith and righteousness. A central figure in numerous Jewish and Christian traditions is Enoch. In addition to being the writer of the Book of Enoch, he is known as the Scribe of Judgment. The Old Testament book of Genesis and the New Testament Gospel of Luke 3:37, the Apostle Paul's letter to the Hebrews 11:5, and Jude 1:14 all make reference to Enoch. He was regarded as a saint by the Catholic Church, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Oriental Orthodox Church, and was a role model for all Christians. Some Muslims draw parallels between Enoch and the Quranic prophet Idris. Noah's role as an ark builder and virtuous preacher was preceded by Enoch's ministry. A group of Bedouin youths grazing their sheep next to the Qumran cave in 1946-1947 uncovered this book, which is a portion of the renowned Dead Sea Scrolls penned by Enoch. When one of the young people hurled a stone into a crevice in the cliff, she was startled to hear a crack. He and his pals ventured into the cave out of curiosity and discovered numerous big clay jars, 7 of which held papyrus scrolls and leather. The Qumran cave is located close to the Qumran ancient village, currently referred to as the West Bank. It is situated on the Dead Sea's northwest coast. Scholars and antiques traders discovered the text on the scrolls was almost 2 millennia old, and they purchased them. Numerous additional scroll fragments were found in nearby caverns. These additional scrolls include between 800 and 900 texts in total. The Book of the Watchers, the Book of Parables, the Astronomical Book, the Book of Dream Visions, and the Epistles of Enoch are the 5 other books that make up this Book of Enoch. There are 100 chapters in these volumes. The stories included in the Book of Enoch are significant. A section discusses the universe, Jerusalem, angels, and a particular tree. The story of the fallen angels who had close relationships with human women and gave birth to enormous offspring known as Nephilim is, however, the most fascinating element. These angels also taught humans complex concepts, which resulted in widespread devastation in a massive flood. Nephilim refers to the fallen ones, who are viewed as giants or mighty men. This concept is taken from a unique Jewish text called the First Book of Enoch. However, there is disagreement. Some believe that their supernatural nature is what makes them so great, while others argue that it is incorrect to believe that angels or devils may procreate with people. Another theory holds that the Nephilim were merely regular individuals who went astray. Some claim that the Nephilim were the virtuous man Seth's family who turned away from God, and that the sons of God were his offspring. Thus, the Book of Enoch provokes some fascinating questions concerning giants, angels, and humankind. The enigmas of Enoch. The Book of Enoch contains several unsolved secrets that don't make sense to humans. Ancient Bible scholars rejected the Book of Enoch because of its anomalies, unproven mythological mysteries, and secrets pertaining to deity, which rendered it inappropriate for Christians and humanity at large. Is the information real or untrue? Are they really too precious to eat for humans? What buried facts does it expose that would contradict what people believe to be divine? The origin of demons and the Nephilim, the mystery of Genesis 6, 1-5, the rationale behind the Great Flood in the Book of Genesis, the laws governing the sun, moon, stars, and wind, the rebellion of the angels against God, the reason behind the fall of some angels from heaven, the mystery surrounding the archangel Uriel, the secrets of creation, the millennial kingdom of the Messiah, and many other mythical mysteries are among the mysteries found in the apocryphal Book of Enoch. The Guardian Angels. There is a story in the Book of Enoch about 200 angelic watchers who came down to earth and turned evil. This book also contained the names of several of the angels and their leaders. Observe that the names and narratives given are identical to the Babylonian tales of the 200 watchers and the 7 spirits who prowled the land. The principal leaders of these 200 angels were among them. They had come to earth to observe, but they ultimately united and slept with women. They turned dirty and taught people how to make weapons, cosmetics, read stars, read plants, learn how to make magic and witchcraft, and much more. Of these fallen angels, Samyaza was the chief leader. The other 7 had names that resembled those of the Babylonian tales: Azazel, Arakiel, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, and Daniel. The giants' origins. Another name for the giants found in the Book of Enoch is Nephilim. They are thought to be the progeny of earthly giants who slept with fallen angels as human women. These enormous beings reached heights of 300 cubits, or roughly 137 meters, and were known to have committed numerous transgressions and crimes on earth, endangering humankind. Human flesh and blood were consumed by them. God became enraged when Enoch beseeched him to save the planet, and all the archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and others, were ordered to apprehend the fallen angels. God gave the archangels the command to punish the fallen angels and destroy the giants in answer to Enoch's supplication. According to Revelation 23, the fallen angels were bound and hurled far into the abyss, where the devil was also cast and imprisoned for a millennium. The Nephilim were also annihilated in the conflict between Gabriel and the Nephilim. The idea of fallen angels has its roots in Christianity. In Revelation 12, 7-10 of the New Testament, Michael and his angels engaged in combat with the dragon and his angels. The earth became the fallen angels' home once they were banished from heaven. The Ethiopian Christian group, which claims to have the Book of Enoch in their scriptures, also makes reference to their belief that the book was excluded from the Bible due to false revelations made by fallen angels that could not be verified by biblical academics. Moreover, many of the early church fathers did not believe it to be accurate. The Enochic epistles, the final chapters, chapters 91, 108 of the Book of Enoch, are referred to as the Epistle of Enoch. The epistles in the Book of Enoch were not regarded as letters, despite the fact that the epistles in the New Testament of the Holy Bible are known as Paul the Apostle's letters. Instead, they allude to Enoch's final remarks to his son Methuselah. The primary focus of Enoch's epistle is his vision of God taking him. He counseled his family and kids to strive for justice, righteousness, and faith. Here, he mentioned the massive flood that will occur at a later date in Noah's life. He discussed the Last Judgment, which stressed the dead's resurrection as shown in chapters 91, 13, 14, as well as the judgment of the wicked in the flood. 6 oracles against the sinners, the testimony of the whole creation against them, and the guarantee of one's fate after death are all mentioned in the Epistle of Enoch. The epistle is divided into 2 sections, a proto-epistle, which has a theology similar to the Qumran group's deterministic doctrine, and a later section that emphasizes personal responsibility in chapters 94, 4, and 104. 6, which frequently describes the righteous as the oppressed and the sinners as the rich, a theme that is also present in the Book of Parables. In the Qumran fragments, the account of Noah's birth is included as an appendix, seeming as such since it is separated from the previous text by a blank line. It describes the deluge and the birth of Noah, who had the appearance of an angel. The last appendix of the Book of Enoch is regarded as the work of the final editor and was not discovered at Qumran. It emphasized the creation of light in contrast to those who were destined for darkness as sinners. For what reason was the book hidden? Athenagoras, Tertullian, Irenaeus, and Clement of Alexandria, among other early church fathers writing circa 200 AD, said that the Book of Enoch was rejected because it included predictions about Jesus that could not be properly verified. It was not included in the official Tanakh, Septuagint, or Deuterocanonical canons. The Book of Enoch was rejected by the Jews mostly because it taught things that were at odds with the Torah, which is an assembly of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. By definition, the Torah is just the collection of Jewish laws and teachings. Early Christians were well versed in the Book of Enoch by the 4th century AD, but it was outlawed by church authorities and all but vanished after that. Its erroneous concepts and teachings led to its exclusion from the canon of Scripture. Please share your thoughts on this subject in the comments area. Join the channel to receive updates on our newest releases. Have a pleasant spiritual journey.